Well, I'm back, Publishing 101, Video 3. So, have you watched number 1 and number 2 yet? If you haven't, then go back down. Oh, my glasses are crooked. I need to go get my other one. I guess I've been wearing these ones a little bit too much. Anyway, the first one was on the importance of a competitive analysis, what that is, why you do it. And it's really important way before you decide to publish. Okay. You do this when you're writing. Yesterday, we talked about different ways to do some basic editing for yourself with free programs that are out there. And everybody needs editing. Trust me, even when you think you've got it right, you need another set of eyes. And then today, we're going to talk about book design. So, welcome to the series of Publishing 101. I am Gloria Coppola, a best-selling and award-winning author and educator. And I have been teaching people all sorts of things my whole life. And I am also a story development coach. So I help people through their writing process. And because my background includes being a life coach, what makes me different from being a regular story coach development person is that I am using the tools I know as a life coach to help you move through your blocks, to get past the self sabotaging, the doubts, and all the things that keep a person in that space where they don't finish a book or they're afraid to publish it. Do you fit into those categories? So if you need help with any of that, then that's one of my services I offer to help you get through these blocks. And I know every single person has them at different stages. And some people have it from the beginning to the end. So it just depends on where you're at. But the other thing as a life coach I'm doing is helping you dive deeper into the message of your story. And that's really important because a lot of times we're just writing from one level, one perspective. And because of my skill sets, I can help you see things differently. And of course, as a story development coach, I'm going to help you look at things from a different perspective in your story, with the plot, with the flow, with the characters. But today we're going to talk about designing that book, okay? So if you have any questions about, we talked about competitive analysis, we talked about some editing stuff, and today we're going to talk about designing your book. Now, designers, most of us go to a professional designer and there's all types out there, but here's what's important. Here's what's important. You want a design that's going to capture the intention of somebody looking at that tiny little icon. Because while books can look beautiful at its full size, doesn't mean it's going to grab attention when they're scrolling through Amazon or Barnes and Noble or wherever you put your book. Okay. So it's got to be eye appealing with the colors, with whatever graphic you pick and choose, and with your fonts. So if you get too tiny with fonts, and it's hard to read on that tiny little icon, people can't see it. But something I learned in marketing and promoting, oh gosh, like over 30 years ago, is the eye looks at color. So keep that in mind. It also travels from left to right when it's looking at anything in design. So, for example, although it's going to be reversed for you on that end. If I was to hold my new cover up this way and look at it, this is a metal plate, by the way, I'm going to hang on my wall with the rest of them. The eye goes right to the title. See, right across the title. So immediately someone is seeing the title and the photo and who wrote it. This is typical marketing and promotion, whether you're doing a book cover, whether you're doing business cards, anything like that. Remember how the eye flows. Now, because I'm trying to help you guys publish at low expense or no expense or whatever, let's talk about the different types of designs and what you can do that won't cost you money. First, we're going to look at some that we've had designers work with our publishers because I offer publishing services. So if you were to see this really bold coming at you with the word success across and the steps it takes to get there, you're going to see that the eye went across the person who wants to be known for his work, right? And also it's going to grab part of that chapter and it's going to come right down to what this book is for. It's a business building guidebook for new wellness entrepreneurs. See that? And does it stand out? You tell me. Then we have another one who's an educator, and this was his design. Okay. We did this with a professional graphic designer as well. So these individuals paid for designers to do their books. Okay. So again, we're going to go from left to right. we see the title, we see the person offering it. It's going to pass a little subtitle and go all the way down to who is doing this. But it's the picture here that sells the book, right? Then here's one I did many years ago for one of my first books. This is what's called a custom design, all right? And so it runs right across the title, right across the subtitle, and through the photos and down to the author. So you see? Now, what stands out in here is mostly the upper part of the book because this is all symbolic, all right? This was a custom design. These were a bit easier because we're using photographs and we're using graphics. So depending on what you want, it's gonna determine the price of your designer. Okay. Now here's one that didn't cost me anything. This is just a quick little manual cookbook that I did for my health coaching clients years ago. They wanted fast, easy recipes. And I thought, well, I'm not going to really hire somebody, but I'm going to show you the difference of doing the layout when you don't know what you're doing when there's photos. Okay. So I said, well, I'm not going to hire an interior designer right now. I'm going to try to do this inexpensively. And so KDP actually had a choice of graphics, and this is what I picked because I thought, wow, that's really cool. It kind of gives the message we're going to do some cooking here, right? And then it had some of these beautiful photos inside. And so when I was doing the layout and prepping this work, I realized that putting in these photos in Microsoft Word, because I didn't have professional design programs, kind of created a little bit of an issue as I was going along. But here's the thing. The people that got this book, they really liked it because it was simple, it was easy. And while I was being really, really, antsy about laying things out, not being a professional designer, I got to make this flowers almond cake, by the way. It is delicious. They were fine with it all. And then I gave some tips of, shopping list tips and all. And besides the easy recipes. So there's a lot of little goodies in here. And actually, this is my proof book. So it's not even the one that has everything in it. But yeah, so you can go to KDP and you can pick out some design covers and they don't cost you anything. So if you're really, really on a tight budget, that's an option. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't mean you're the only person out there with that cover because if somebody else picks it, well, then someone else is going to have a similar cover. But if you're just starting out and you're just looking to do something easy for yourself and low cost, that's the way you do it. Now, this one for my book coming out, this is a custom design, and there's several different types of things in here. There's a graphic and there's photos, isn't there? And then we went in and embellished and touched it up and gave it some different highlights. So when you're going to design your book, decide, what do you want? Do you want to do it free and easy? Do you want to have a photo, a quality professional photo, be your cover? Do you want some graphics with your photo? Okay. Or do you want to get a custom type of design cover? So all of these are going to range in different prices. Keep that in mind. So depending on your budget. Now, you can get somebody out there that might do something really simple and easy for $50, and you can be spending $1,200. Okay. So just to give you an idea of the price range, or you can do free. Now, like I said, the main thing to keep in mind is that it is visible and easy to read on a small icon. So even though these things are beautiful in person, are they going to show up on KDP or wherever you put your book out there? Now, your formatting, your interior design is also done by designers, right? And they're going to charge based on a couple of things. They're going to charge based on the amount of pages, but they're also going to charge based on, do they have to create charts? Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the things in here that this gentleman in his book wanted to do. And he wanted places for people to write. And we got graphics at all the top of the chapters. And let's see. He wanted a grid in here and other things where people could answer questions and other fill-in spots. So the more complicated you get with the interior design, obviously the designer has to create it and align it, and that increases your price. Now, with this one, he provided tons of photographs. Now, you would think that's easy. It's easy only if you have the right type of photographs, which have to be professional at a certain DPI, and you have to have a designer that is using a professional design program. Because, like, when I did this cookie, my photos were all over. It took me 80 times, I think, to get it. So this one is set up a little bit differently. See that? Then when I did my healing arts book, because it was also a training, but I had the first half was a lot of our Hawaiian kahuna contributing their stories. All right. So we had their stories in here with some photos. So each of the teachers, the kumu, that's the Hawaiian word, we set that up to honor all the different ones. But then the ones that wanted to share their stories, we gave them a spread to do that. Now, in the second half of this type of book, a training manual, so if you're doing educational manuals, this is a little bit about that. I had professional photography taken to do the photos of this type of massage and then step-by-step instructions. So this was also a little more complicated. But if you're doing a novel, this is my proof book. If you're doing a novel, it might just be all text, all right? It might include some pretty page breaks. You have to ask for them. And you may decide that maybe you want some little graphic photos at different chapters, or you want different fonts. So today we were talking about design cover, design the inside of your book, and prices are going to vary. So again, you can go to KDP and get free photos and design a cover. You can hire someone to just design a simple cover with your photograph, or you can do custom covers. Then there's all sorts of variables out there, but free to probably about $1,200. Now, what's the interior layout? You just got to witness a variety. As a matter of fact, this one was a collaborative book that we put together with different authors. That was actually an award-winning book. So each chapter we did, let me pull this up. We had a page for the author. We had their bio in here. They wanted to put maybe a little saying or something, or we had to fill a page in. And then we went into their chapters, into their stories. Now you're going to notice the font here is larger than most, okay? And we made it larger and actually got a lot of feedback that people really appreciated having larger print. And then, your endings can have something a little fancier in there. All right. And what we did is we gave pages for people to actually journal in here based on this. So there's tons of ways of creating books, designs, formatting. So here's what I'm going to tell you. There's a lot of people that know what they're doing. There's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of people that say they do, and a lot of people that don't. So be very careful. And if you need references for somebody, just reach out to me. I went through my own challenge recently with my own book, because the gal that I've worked with for years, she was retired, and I'm hoping she comes back. And I've used some others, and then I was able to find somebody through a reference after dealing with somebody that did not do anything. Was she talked the talk, she had the beautiful website, all of that, but when it came down to it, she basically robbed me of half of my deposit, which was almost $900. You heard me, half of the deposit, and it did not end pleasantly. So just because someone says they can do things and they toot their own horn, please ask for references and work with people that Why did I go with her? One, my designer decided to retire. Other people I were using are freelancers. They didn't have the availability when I needed them. And I was also looking for someone that can make the design in here, a little fancier and nicer, to show writers out there the possibilities of what you can create with your design. So fortunately, I was hooked up with somebody that was able and willing to do that in a timely manner and a much more affordable manner. Okay. So if you have any questions, drop them down below. I'm happy to answer your questions. But remember, design your books so that they're appealing to the eye of your reader. Think about books that you have read that you look at a cover and say, why did they choose this? Or you go inside and you could hardly read the print. Well, take that in consideration to your reader, because eyes get tired when they're reading, and if it's too small, they're probably going to give up unless they got really good vision and love your story. Okay. So, again, drop in, pound replay, ask questions. I'm happy to help you. I do offer services and have different people that I'm connected with to help you write, publish your book. Remember, you do not have to pay for publishing. No, but you have to pay for services to get published. You can have the honor of having your own account and pressing that publishing button for your novel or your workbook. That doesn't cost anything. And if you decide to do it 100% by yourself, it's possible. Everything is possible. This took me longer to do than anything I've probably ever put together because of all the different things going on in there. Did I learn a lot? Yes, I learned to hire a professional. Anyway, thanks for stopping by today, and we will be back for round 4 of Publishing 101. Tell me your questions, and I'll be sure to cover them. Thank you.